You as an editor. I'm back, and I'm hoping that I can be seen now. I'm waiting for Coach Khayr to come into the building, to step into the room. Let me invite him and see. And I'm inviting other people. Spotlight on spiritual health care provider Coach Khayr happening as soon as I can work out the technical difficulties. Khayr is on. Yay! That's right. Bring him into the building. And three, and two, and one. It's adding you. So I want you guys to welcome my coach, Coach
What's up? What's up?
Khayr.
What's up? How you doing? How
What's
you doing?
going
Hey,
on? Good morning. Happy belated solar return. Happy to connect with you. You
thank
said you were
you,
you
thank
were
you.
out and about, right? All
Oh
right.
man, I'm on some old halfway discombobulated right now, but we're gonna tighten it all the way up, though. We're gonna tighten it all the way up. We here now, baby. We
You
are
here
here
now.
right now.
So invite anyone you can. I was having problems myself, so don't even worry. And we can invite people in. So I would like for you to, if you are in a position to get us started with prayer, because I know one thing I value about you as a coach is the fact that you pray.
Oh, absolutely. We set it off. If we ain't giving praise, then we ain't doing nothing. You know. So that is absolutely fine with me. I appreciate you for acknowledging that. Thanks for having me on here too. You've already had some stellars on here. You got some more stellars coming on here. So just to be considered is an honor. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Anabakor, Kijalaki Tatia Tezara, Kabel Renat, Amcha Sakvanu, Tahara Nunara, Nagibor, Deshe Yekadeka, Kabavat Shamran, Barkum Taran, Rakame, Tazika Taker, Tanid Gamla, Kasim Kadosh, Bararu Tufka, Nahel Arateka, Yakid Gehel, Amchapanez, or Kriya Katushka Taker, Shavatanuka Bear, Lushma, Tazakatanu, Yodea Ta'alamot, Barukshem, Kovo Makuto, Lalam Vayed. Hmm.
Hmm.
Yes, and
Thank you.
I want to say I think it's wonderful how you as a mother have took the time out to teach that to your children. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
To
you.
like really help reclaim our future by letting children know that what's on their iTablet or their iPad is not more important than learning how to pray. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then memorizing it and then in another language too at the same time and like you know 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, 13 years old, 17 years old, a whole household built around prayer. That's how we got jacked up in the first place. So definitely want to congratulate you on that as well.
Thank you. And I'm just following. I'm just following the lead, you know. So lots to crack open with you because you're a multifaceted, multi-talented. You remind me of me because I have that five energy. So I have stuff, my hands in every piece of, things here and there. But I want you to take us on a journey. First of all, Team Sag in Long Beach, because this is my coach, so I gotta represent.
Team
So
Taurus
let
in
us
Atlanta,
know.
three
There you
energy over
go.
here, three energy
There
over
you
here.
There you go. So, I would like for those who don't know you, because you're family to me. My children know you. You're probably one of the first men role models that the young men coming up in my family have actually had a chance to connect with and see,
Mm.
even though it's virtually. Thank the heavens for this virtual ability. But for those who don't know you, you followed a path to healing. Why? What was your motivation factor for taking this route?
Um, my mother and father, you know what I'm saying? Really like chaos. Like I couldn't handle the chaos. You know what I'm saying? I came up in I'm a latchkey kid. That's what I always tell everybody. My parents divorced. They started fighting when I was really young. Then they finally got divorced at 12. And then I say the real bullshit started. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it was already bullshit when they was fighting, at 7. Then it took y'all another 5 years to get divorced. And then y'all took bullshit to a whole new level.
Right.
So I was raised by my father. Um, and he had to work. And so that's what they call a latchkey kid, when you had to let yourself in,
Right.
right? And always went to church, you know, so always had a spiritual connection. I remember one time they were fighting, and I got on my knees and I told God, I said, "Yo, I ain't doing this when I grow up. This right here, like you can forget about it, like don't. This is not what I'm doing." And you gotta watch how you plant your seeds, because the universe is always listening to respond. But sometimes the universe is like, yo, you gotta go through some stuff though, yo, so you can appreciate it. Which I have learned later, that when you sometimes put a prayer request out there, sometimes the angels, the spirits, the gods will look at, like they'll say, what if we give you this right now? What if we give you this right now? What will happen moving forward? And this unfortunate could happen, and they won't grant you your prayer. And then you'll be out there like, man,
Right.
you abandoned me or such and such. And they'd be like, nah, player, we just seasoning the meat. We just getting it
Hmm.
seasoned. We just put some on there. You know what I'm saying? Because later you're gonna have flavor. And we're gonna need you to have flavor. We're gonna need you to have a real story to tell. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna
Right.
really need to be able to have overcome something. So it's okay. You done made the connection with us. Now we're gonna watch you. And whew. So to me, that's kind of how it started. Like around 9 was when I was on my knees talking to the Creator. I was going straight to the top. You know what I'm saying? I was brought up in
Right.
Jesus, but I skipped. I went straight to God. I was like, look, Flair, I ain't gonna, I can't do this. And so, lo and behold, as I look back, turn right here, and then let me off right at those black steps on the right. He just the things that have um that he has laid in front of me. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You have a great day. The things that he has laid in front of me in my path have all been designed for for right. I'm gonna go over
Designed for
here and
what?
sit on
You
the
cut out a little bit. You said designed for what?
design for my well-being. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? It's
Okay.
it's been designed to help my design. And woo wee. One day, so I'm gonna skip forward a little bit, because all of it was a piece, and all of it was relevant. I in the 11th grade, I was recruited to go to West Point. And I was like, what in the world y'all doing recruiting me to go to West Point? I was at a predominantly white school that had a white principal, that had a white quarterback who was his son. So I was like, why y'all ain't recruiting him? What are y'all recruiting me for? And it would be 2 years later, after I decided to go to another school, that I would meet a cat from New York who smoking some weed at his house, looking at his bookshelf, which is always the key. He had The Art of War on the bookshelf, and I said, man, let me borrow this book. He said, nah, you can't borrow this book. He said, but they teach this to every freshman at West Point. And I was like, wow, I'm a freshman here
Wow.
at A&T. If I would have been to West Point, I would be taking this class. So I'm going to take the class anyway. I'm going to go get the book. And the book was on strategy. So my spiritual journey started with strategy. My spiritual journey started, I guess, with 9 when I was praying to God, 12 they get divorced, 18 I learned strategy. I learned the importance of warfare. And that's what we in, man. We in warfare. You know what I'm saying? We in a fight for our souls, our baby souls. We in a fight for our happiness. But what I learned about that book, that that in the Art of War by Sun Tzu, is what I base everything else on that I'm doing now. Reiki, astrology, Tai Chi, relationship science, social media, um, everything,
Cryptocurrency.
cryptocurrency. Like right now, where I'm at right now, I'm supposed to be at a trading club. Like the Atlanta Traders Club class started at 11, and they're right
Uh-oh.
in that door. Right, but guess what? Don is pulling up right like the as soon as you said it, the guy who's the head of the largest cryptocurrency meetup in Atlanta is right here. And it goes all back to strategy. Healing your cells is a strategy. When I met Dr. Nardi, you got to have a strategy to heal your cells, and cells sounds like what? Self.
Self.
Heal your cells, heal yourself. But most people don't have a strategy, and that's why I kind of like migrated my astrology consultations from natal chart readings to astro strategy. Astro strategy, man. Take this map and do what a billionaire does with it. A billionaire doesn't care about his natal chart. A billionaire cares about what's my strategy to healing my cells. What cells? All of them. Because I just told somebody this the other day and they just got all discombobulated. The zeros in your bank account do have something to do with your level of consciousness. They do,
Hmm.
and I didn't
Wow.
know that. Like one of my first conversations with one of my spiritual masters, Mitchell Gibson, he was like, "What's your problem with money?" And I was like, "Man, I thought you were asking about meditation or Tai Chi or the spirit or soul or stuff like that." First thing he said was, like you keeping wealth out of your life. He didn't say like the white man. He didn't say my condition from my mama and daddy. He didn't say my education. He said you are keeping wealth. You are resisting wealth from coming into your
Hmm.
life. And I was like, man, that was tough. And I'm in my 30s when he's telling me this. And I was like, man, I'm studied all these business courses and all this other kind of stuff. I'm a Taurus. I love me some money. And he was like, do you really? And man, that's one of the other parts about strategy. You need to have
Excuse me.
somebody who will call you on your stuff. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? When you playing with yourself, you know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about masturbating either. Leave you
Right.
alone if you're masturbating, but if you're masturbating too much, somebody need to be like, hey, that's a little too much self pleasure, or that's a little too much self destruction. And that after the art of war was introduced to me, um, I was in a low place. I thought I was doing good. I think I was like 20, 21 years old, and my homeboy was on the couch, and we was in the trap house, and he says, I come around the corner, and he says, "Did you know that the sun is 93 million miles away from the planet Earth?" I was like, "What?" Now we 20 years old, 21 years old from the country, Stedman, North Carolina, and he says, "Yeah, and the Earth is 666 trillion tons." I was like, "Boy, what you smoking? Let me hit that." And so he turns this book around, and it's a book of actual facts, the book of the five percenters. And he says, this statement always stuck with me. This is why I love you and everyone who got their children first. He says, what if our daddies would have taught us this when we were 12 years old?
Mm.
It was over. That right there, right
Mm.
there. That was either 90 or 91. The whole change came because I already had the art of war was already like up under me. Like I was like,
Right.
man, what a strategy. You know what I'm saying? What if my parents, here I am in the house selling weed and selling crack in a little like right outside the projects, like this is life. And 3 or 4 years ago I was recruited for West Point. Now look at me.
Mm.
What happened to my strategy? So for
Right.
me, one of the keys is like really being honest with myself and saying, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So like when
Right.
people have high blood pressure, they go to the doctor for healing, and the doctor says, "Yo, we're gonna have to admit you to the hospital because your blood pressure is so high." What's the first thing they say? I feel fine. I feel
Mm.
fine. You liar. You are not fine. You know what I'm saying? You are not. You are not fine. Your blood pressure is sky high. And so,
Right.
man, that right there, after that, man, so just that whole thing. And like then I got on the journey to start collecting information so I would be a better father and a better parent than my parents. And that was the
Mm-hmm.
motivation, like right there, just whatever came to me. And then I developed a strategy that a lot of people say, Coach, how'd you get where you are? So if I only got an elevator pitch, I say you dig till your nails bleed. You
Right.
dig till your nails bleed, no matter what. You just keep digging until you, like when you look up, if you look up and your nails ain't bleeding and you ain't got no dirt up under your fingernails, you ain't been trying hard enough to go deep. You ain't been trying hard enough to go be a seeker. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right.
It says seeking ye shall
You shall
find. It didn't
find.
say
Mm-hmm.
hide up under a rock and it'll come to
And
you.
it'll come to you.
No, it won't
I'm
hide
waiting in
up
the
under that
corner.
rock. I'm be over here up under this rock. I'm sure the answers are gonna come to me. I'm sure the money's just gonna jump in my thing. No, player. Like all of it is all about seeking, man, and getting dig to your knuckles bleed. You gotta see them knuckles just be like, what? And then what do you do then? Keep digging. You just keep
Keep
digging.
digging.
And I'm still digging. I'm digging a little smarter now because I
Right.
used to dig my rows. My rows used to be all over the place. My rows used to be all over the place. So I got a Zen garden style going on. I ain't got it like straight rows.
Mm-hmm.
I got zigzags. But now since I learned feng shui and some other stuff, I said, well, since you're gonna be digging, go ahead and make some patterns now. Let's stop being so haphazard. So now I'm drawing butterflies and I'm drawing, I'm drawing different things in the ground. So that's where I'm at right now. And I wouldn't turn back, man. The journey for healing myself, that kind of happened um, because my father had got cancer, and since he raised me, I was like, man, I can't. I gotta do something about this. And I heard, yes, Angela, dig smarter. Absolutely, dig smarter. Keep digging hard, but just dig smarter. And my cousin came and said, yo, there's this guy who knows Tai Chi. He's teaching how he healed himself from cancer. And I was like, oh, that's impossible. That's impossible. And he was like, nah, player, he healed himself from cancer using this natural energy, these nigongs and a way of breathing and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay. And I went to that class for my father, you know, and never left, ended up being dropped into the deep end of the healing pool, being very
Right.
fortunate. But like I said, God had me so seasoned from having such a rough start that I really needed to be lined up and prepared when I met this master. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, and when I met Sunyata Saraswati, one of his things was, he was like, I won't teach you. I won't teach a person if they're not spiritually mature enough to handle what I have to teach. And so we as teachers have to realize that we can't teach everybody. Like what level are we on first, and then what
Mm-hmm.
level are the people on that are coming to us. Now I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
on his level, but I had to be at least a certain level of maturity to even for him to like come down, you know what I'm saying, and say, all right, I'm gonna pull you up a little further. And a lot of
Right.
times I see a lot of teachers out here, they're not using, they don't have a lot of discernment about who they're teaching, and then their business, because that is our business of healing, whether it's cryptocurrency, whether it's relationships, whether it's astrology or Reiki or branding or marketing or moon magic. That's still your business, and then it's important that you understand that you have to deal with the right people in your business, so you can maintain yourself. Because if you fall out, guess what? The business is done. Like when Steve
Right.
Jobs died, Apple was like this for a minute. They was like, we got to hurry up and
Mm-hmm.
recover. You know what I'm saying? When Bill Gates
Right.
stepped away from Microsoft, they dipped a little bit. So you got to make sure that things are set up in a way um, that you got the right folks around you. You know what I'm saying? And you got the right
Right.
environment at all times, man. Now I've been talking a long time. Let me be quiet so you can ask me some more questions. That's just, I can talk
No,
all day
this is
about my journey.
the point. The journey is so important because what I'm finding in this series is everybody has, in church they said it was a testimony, right?
Right.
But this, what I've learned, because my first modality was personal training, and people would come to me and say, I can't wait till you get your certification because you have a testimony. You know, you were sick because your thyroid and you were overweight your whole life and all this stuff. So these healers, you healers, all of us coming on and telling our testimony or our journey is what authenticates us. It brings, you know, you graduated from the University of Spiritual Healthcare. You are a provider, right? And this
Right.
directory, to me, is like a healthcare provider directory. I want the best of the best, but one of the providers was like, well, what kind of credentials do you need? I don't want credentials. How much does it cost? It doesn't cost anything. You coming on and telling your journey is your journey. And who are we to say to the universe that you don't have a degree, that you don't have a PhD? So you said a few things when you were talking. The first thing you talked about, which is something that I think I vibrate with you on because I have 9 children, and your feeling behind, I don't care about y'all. I'm in it for the kids, right?
Oh
So
boy. Oh
you
boy.
talking
Oh
about,
boy.
now I
I can't.
see how
Hey,
that
my phrase.
happened.
Hey, my phrase is I don't care about you adults. That's what I be telling people. I don't care about you adults. I'm teaching y'all so it can get to your babies. I really don't care about you. Don't make me choose between you and your 9. You know, and I love me some Stephanie too, but don't make me choose. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
you don't
It'll
have
be
to
a
choose.
wrap.
My son will be in Atlanta this summer because he's doing an internship in North Carolina, and I'm sending him to meet you. So, you know,
Okay.
there's no choice. My seed's gonna know some Coach Khayr. But my question is, do you think your childhood led you to that this overwhelming love for the children, or is it more than that?
Listen here. Woo! That's good right there. Woo! That's good. Because,
Hi, Carol.
man, we make so many. Ooh, and look who just came on with this question that you just asked me,
I
too.
say hi,
Lord have
Carol.
mercy. Ooh. Repeat the question one more time. I want to make sure Carol hear this when I say what I'm going to say. Repeat
So
the
my
question.
question is your childhood the reason why you care and have so much love for the children, or is it more than that?
My parents didn't put, my parents, I don't, when my parents forgot about me while I was still standing there.
Mm,
That's what, and when they said it's more important for us to argue than it is, it's more important for us to argue right now and not get past our differences than it is the example that we're setting for him. We are not visionaries right now. The relationship that my parents had, they weren't visionaries. They didn't
right,
think of how they were going to be affecting me by long term, me, my brother, my sister, by their behavior.
right,
You know what I'm saying? And that was the thing that motivated me, that says the children are watching me. The kids
mm,
are watching me. You parents is okay, but they're over your shoulder looking at your phone. They're over. I had so many people tell me, I mean, not just you, but saying, yo, my kids are watching you. They know who you are. Is that Coach Khayr? They say, yeah, they know your voice. You know what I'm saying? I'm in somebody's home and they got me on speaker and the children can hear me and they're listening and saying, is that Coach Khayr? That's what my standard is set at. You know what I'm saying? And it was because my parents, I know how great I am and how dope I am right now. I got on a shirt that says greatness. I know how dope and how great I am, but it wasn't because of what my parents instilled upon me. That's why I be on that Tupac, the rose that grew through concrete.
right,
What if y'all would have what if y'all would have put greatness as a strategy for raising me when I was young?
right,
Then where would I be right now? Oh Jesus! Not that I still wouldn't be going hard, but
right,
man, cause I got going hard in me. I got Saturn, Mercury, and Taurus all in the 9th house. I'm gonna go hard. They couldn't change my chart. You know what I'm saying? But
right,
they put their, excuse my friends, they put their bullshit desire for chaos and suffering. Because if you want to create suffering for another person, then you are at the wall of suffering. And my mother
Right.
wanted to create chaos for my father. My father wanted to create chaos for my mother. So even if you say, I'm doing this in the name of little Khayr, then you still bullshitting. If you're trying to
Right.
cause, you're saying you're trying to cause him suffering in my name, or you're trying to cause her suffering in my name, man, get the F out of here. That's 1000% non-cipher. You know what I'm saying? And so some of the behaviors of what I'm going to do, but one thing I do to check myself is what I ain't gonna do. And what I ain't gonna do is try to go in like like and miss the big picture
Right.
of what kind of fertilizer I put on children. And some people, 35, 45, 55 years old, still need to be watered like children and handled like children. So sometimes
Right.
people be like, who you think you talking to? In a disciplinary term like that, I'm grown. Well, you're not acting like it. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm
Right.
giving you something that your parents didn't give you. I'm giving you love. I'm giving you straight facts. Like that's the piece right there. So yeah, man, I got all of that motivation from my mother and father, and looking around, and then hindsight, looking at the strategy of others and saying, yo, look where he's at, look where this person is at. Not necessarily, I mean, yeah, I was comparing, man, look how you turned out. And you had your parents behind you. You had you had a two-parent household coming
Right.
up. And as a healer now, I see so many people who have come to me that need healing, that come from a household that was divided and on some bullshit. The
Right.
mama was on some bullshit, or the daddy was on some bullshit. You can trace it back. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so, and that doesn't mean like, if I come into a two household parent, let's say me, I get married, start having children, that my child still ain't gonna wild out. But guess what? That joker it's gonna be extra in that DNA. Everybody's gonna have
Right.
to go through something. I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, my child this and they act like they doing everything for the child." That child still got to go from 17 to 21, which is the dumbest period in your life. I don't care what you
Mhm.
did. You could teach them the whole Quran, the whole holy tablets. You teach them like 22 prayers, but from 17 to 22 is the most stupidest time a person goes through in their life. And you just be like, man,
Right.
I did all these things, and you're such a disappointment. No, now you the
Mm.
parent. Because
Mhm.
now you the disappointment now, because you don't understand trends. You don't understand what people have to go through.
Right.
And you went through it. And then you want your child to just like to skip some of these lessons, some of these hard bumps on the head.
The formative years, right?
That's why that's why do we have white blood cells? All my healers out there, you got white blood cells because they supposed they're there for injury. White blood cells, and the hairs in your nose show the brilliance of the Creator, the greatness of Allah. You know what I'm saying? El Elo. You know what I'm saying? It shows the greatness,
Right.
because why would God give you white blood cells? Because I know you're going to scrape yourself. I know you're going to fall and get some cuts and bruises. So I'm going to
Right.
give you white blood cells before you even fall. When you came, like when you had a child, when a child comes into the earth, normally in a hospital situation or a loving home situation, they have a home birth or whatever, that child is gentled and put in cloth and held so gentle. But they already got white blood cells. They didn't have to inject
Right.
no white blood cells. He came with some white blood cells like the day that they got here. God
Right.
already knew. I know you're going to treat him soft right now, but one day he
One
going to need
day.
these white blood cells to rush to the surface to pull that scar together on whatever it
Right.
is, a motorcycle accident, falling outside on the bicycle, all type of things that we go through. God knew we needed white blood cells. God knew we needed healers like us too on the planet, because people was going to be going through, oh man, having diseases, having dis-ease, having heartbreaks, having emotional breakdowns, having anxieties, having all types of body, mind, and spirit traumas going on. So he made some of us with the healing gene in us. He sprinkled some healing gene in there. He sprinkled some, this is the thing I need. And man, dig into your knuckles bleed, man. This is weak. I hope this goes into the story. So a part of my journey is astrology. and
Right.
evaluating. So for the last 7 years, somebody told me like 8 years ago, they said, yo, if you want to travel all year, on your birthday, be gone. Don't stay at home on your birthday. Like take a trip on your birthday.
Mhm.
And I be traveling all over the place off of that one strategy. On May 17th, I'm not at home. So last year, I was like, man, you've been traveling for like 5 or 6 years. Why don't you chill and sit still and like get some stuff started in Atlanta? Because you can't never get nothing started in Atlanta because you always moving. So I was like,
Right.
okay. And my birthday was on a Wednesday. And Tuesday, my man was like, I'm going to Winston-Salem. And I was like, what? I can catch a ride with you and go to Tybro and meditate. So I jumped in the car and was
Mm.
like, hey, another year of travel. So I go to Tybro and meditate on my birthday. I was there all day, but only meditated 20 minutes. So I spent
Wow.
my whole birthday in a facility for healing and spiritual growth and surrounded by beauty and power, right?
Mm.
And uh, around the beginning of May this year, I was like, "What you gonna do this year? You gonna stay home? What kind of year did you have? Where was you at last year?" And before I can even say where was you at last year, I was like, "Boy, you spent one day at Tybro, only meditated 20 minutes. What if you spend 5 days? You know my other phrase: don't cheat yourself. I mean, don't beat yourself, treat
Treat
yourself.
yourself.
Don't don't cheat yourself, treat yourself." I was like, "Man, what can I do for 5 days? You know what I'm saying? If I go up
Mm.
here." And went up there this week, like just got back this morning. Just
Wow.
got back this morning. Left last night around the bus supposed to leave at 11:30, didn't leave till 1 o'clock. I had all that time right there, just getting it in. And I was still digging. I was doing research all the way up until the time they closed
Mm.
yesterday at 4:30. I was still doing research, handwritten, typing, video recording myself to find out more about how to heal me. What is my lane? Everybody knows I'm always about lane hugging. What's my
Right.
lane that I can hug? Like, and what's my purpose? And I was learning about the angelic houses. So I'm a beast of a teacher, but it's still some stuff I don't know. So come to
Right.
find out, I didn't know which angelic house I was in. I know my 12 houses of my zodiac backwards and
Right.
forwards, but I was like, "An angelic house? I was born in an angelic house? Dig, dig, dig. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that." And not only did I get my angelic house, I got all the angelic houses. So now I
Wow.
can go around and look because I want to help. I want to
Mm.
help heal. And come to find out, I'm in the angelic house of order.
Mm.
So there's an angelic house of people, who can heal. You know what I'm saying? Like they're here
Right.
to heal. But there's an angelic house too that maintain the order of everything in the universe. And some of us, like
Mm.
me, have that piece of the gene in there. So even so some people so I might even be my superpower may not even be healing. My superpower is order. You know
Order.
what I'm saying? Because I'm
Mm.
always, what do I always keep saying? Following instruction saves lives. Following
Mm.
instruction saves lives. Following instruction saves lives. Jokers be like, man, I don't want to do it. I say, hey, bro, if it saves lives and it makes money, if you don't want to do it, then that's you putting yourself at risk. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But I'm
Mm.
not gonna give you some directions to maintain order in your life. I'm trying to get you off the my fault. I'm trying to give you the keys to get off the wall of suffering. I ain't gonna
Right.
get you off the wall of suffering. You're gonna get yourself off. But I understand the wall of suffering. I understand what
Right.
part of the order that it represents. But I also understand the land of abundance too. I understand how it can stretch out and how I can have all of the stretching out of abundance, or I can have all of the suffering that I
At
desire.
the
The,
wall.
the universe is set up just like that. You can
Mm.
you can't OD on suffering because they got more suffering for you when they bring you back to life or you reincarnate. And you can't
Right.
OD on abundance because there's even more than you can even you can even imagine, man. There's so much that we haven't even like tapped into. So like she said earlier, dig smarter. Like I'm taking my direction a little bit right now, way more
Right.
serious and headed in a direction that fits me, where I get to work less, work smarter, but get 10 times the result.
Right.
So a lot of people say, "Oh man, you got to work hard. You got to work hard." So why is the people that work the hardest got the least amount of money? Hmm.
Mm.
Hmm. Hmm. They work the
That's
hardest. They slaving 15, 16 hours a day and got the most debt. No, that
hmm
don't make sense to me. You
for
see what I'm
60
saying?
something years until retirement and still in debt. Yeah. So let me ask you this because you said something earlier too about the way healers, because you were talking about when you got into Tai Chi, your master said, well, I don't know if you're ready. I don't know if you're on that level yet. And we all have to be on that level, right? So my thing is, when you get somebody who is not ready for the terminology, right? Because, astrology and healing, there's some terminology that people aren't ready for. And you bring them in and you start talking to them and it just breaks their brain. How do you reach those people who aren't ready to meet you at that level? Do you send them somewhere else? Do you give them baby steps? What's your strategy for that?
I have so many baby steps for they behind on YouTube that I ain't really like. That was a part of my strategy. Like, first off, it ain't that complicated. That's why I named my course "Keep It Simple Astrology."
Right.
It's a certain group of people who keep trying to make it seem complicated, so we'll stay out of it. They used to teach us astrology in kindergarten. Matter of fact,
Mm,
if you ever drew a square and put a triangle on top of it and said that's a
hmm.
house, you were
Right.
studying astrology in kindergarten. You just went away from it. And
Right.
now you've conditioned your brain to resist new ideals.
Mm,
And you haven't
beautiful.
developed the maturity to tell your brain, this is what we're about to do. So that's me right there. So it ain't necessarily the terminology. Now it is. And then you got some people who just want to come into astrology and just want to stunt and use a whole bunch of terms, but they're not good teachers.
Right.
They're not teachers. They just are what I call them astrology appreciators. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm,
they're not really good teachers if you have to come in there because you have to be taught how to teach too. You could be a natural
right.
teacher, but you still need to have a formal training. You could be a natural healer, but still need some formal training. And
Right.
so some people I have understanding astrology, they've never been formally taught on how to teach. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? And then they start doing exactly what you're saying, using all these terms and squares and semi-sextiles and yards, talking to a beginner. And they're very
Mm,
disrespectful because they just want the money or they want the attention or the accolades. They're not necessarily trying to teach it. You know what
mm.
I'm saying? And
So I
so,
love that you said that because one of the reasons why I really, really had to interview you is that your course, Keep It Simple Astrology, is for my children are taking it, and they're between the ages of 12 and 16, so they can get it. We're talking about sixth grade, eighth grade, and 10th grade. But even Cielo, because I've taught Cielo, he has probably a sixth grade reading level. He's 4. It's probably higher than that, but even he can get some of it. So one of the reasons why you're on this directory is that when we need to send people who are hemorrhaging, because that's what's going to happen real soon. It's already starting. People are going to be hemorrhaging for, they're going to need that spiritual healing. They're going to need to be able to get it. And if you got somebody that's not able to reach them, then what are we doing for these people that's hemorrhaging? They come into the spiritual ER and they can't even get operated on.
right, because jokers couldn't even, because what's the first thing they do when you come in the ER? They check your blood pressure. So some people
Hmm.
don't even, they want to do heavy open heart surgery, but don't even understand the importance of blood pressure. You
Right,
understand? They
right.
don't even understand. They didn't even say what's the blood pressure and what's the heartbeat rate per minute. That's the first two things you get on any doctor's appointment, emergency or non-emergency. You know what I'm saying? And so
Yep.
we have to get past the ego. We have to get past the ego. And to get past your ego, a big ego, you have to have a certain level of spiritual maturity. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's another reason why people's finances are directly related to their spiritual maturity. So that's like one of the classes I'm about to teach next is financial and spiritual maturity. They go together. Your spiritual maturity will pull your finances up. Everybody think they're because you see people trying to pull their finances up. and their spiritual maturity sucks.
Right.
So you can pull your spirituality. If you can pull your spiritual maturity up, your finances are like run in front of it and try to take off. But
Right.
people be missing the point. But yeah, man. Yeah, if they're ready or if there's something that I can help with, then I'm going to do that. But I'm a lane hugger. Like that's why I made the
Mm,
course. So at the end, when you finish the course, guess what that means? Now you can go do readings. Now you can come and
right.
tell me.
And I've seen plenty of people come through your course and now they're astrologists and they're, you know, and even being in, because I had coaching with you and they were in my coaching class at the same time, seeing them have that confidence after your course. So that's,
That's
like I
because I
said, that's
gave
why I
them.
wanted you.
Because they got the fundamentals. See, I teach you the
Yes.
fundamentals, man. The fundamentals will take you all the way to the top, baby. The
Yes.
fundamentals, respect, protocols will take you all the way to the top. Not trying to sound deep and all that stuff. I could sound deep and I could go in and hit you with my white boy voice, you know what I'm saying, start getting super technical. But that ain't gonna that ain't gonna do nothing. That ain't
But
gonna do nothing. Like
you're
that
leading
doesn't.
people back to themselves and that's, or to their selves. And that's if anybody wants to know what to look for in an amazing healer, somebody that you're going to get results from, that's key. You don't want somebody who puts you in their pocket and needs you all the time and you can't get away from them. You want somebody who you leading them right back to their own selves, and they can maybe, because even when you go to the doctor and you got something serious, they'll say, okay, we're going to take care of, we're going to get you back to homeostasis. But once you're at homeostasis, you come back every 6 months to a year. You don't keep coming to the doctor every day. So that's another thing I love about Coach Khayr is he is leading you back to yourselves. I had coaching that was deep. It was, we were doing the work, we were getting in there and grinding. And now that it's over, I got to be out here walking the walk. I can't just, okay, coach, I need you.
Hey, look, but you can say you need me, but you can't sit in my waiting room. What you're saying
Right,
is
right.
you can't just sit in my waiting room. Other people got to come in my waiting room. Hey, I got you. We called your name. You come back here in the back. We go up under. We do what we got to do. Now go ahead, because that's what you say. I'm leading you back to self, which is self mastery.
Yes.
That's the whole conversation. Then you come back in for a checkup. It ain't no problem. You call me and be like, "Hey, look at this chart right here for a second, or did I do this right?" Or that's all fine, but you can't. No, you can't stay. You can't stay in my nest. My nest is for passing through. Now you might pass through. Now some people need more intensive things. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? But guess what? I expect greater things as a result out of them too.
right,
Like when they step in there, if you want to stay in my nest, boy, you must be trying to be super great because it's going to be some homework. It's going to be some assignments. It's going to be some push-ups and some squats and some high knee lifting going on and some front leg stiff kicks going on and some meditation.
some meditation, deep breathing, moon
Yeah, yeah,
magic,
yeah,
writing them
yeah,
goals
yeah.
out. Yeah,
Right.
coaches, if
It's
you
gonna
need
be
a
some.
coach,
It's gonna
I'm
be some
telling you,
kung fu up in there. It's
before
gonna be
I
some kung
before I
fu up in there.
before I hired you as my coach, I never thought I needed a coach. So I learned a
Ooh,
lot.
ooh, ooh. That was a lot of people too. It's a lot of people that look and be like, who we think he is, why he think he can coach me? Or I don't need that right there. You know what I'm saying? Why would I? And they think it's an embarrassment that they're going to get some help. But let me tell you, with your Christian loving self, in your Bible, what it say? Lean not on your own
On your own
understanding.
understanding.
The
Especially since
Bible
I'm a
tells you,
mother. Especially, I'm sorry to cut you off, but especially since I'm a mother and you don't have children, you have people that'll say, what can he teach me? And the thing about it is, I'm in a whole different space in my brain as a mother. I'm at a whole different space in my brain that I can't even reach those levels that I want to reach without that coach to help me see it from a different perspective because I'm seeing it from mom perspective. You know what I'm saying? And here you come in with this different, not only were you a child and have children around you, but you're not, in that frame of reference where you can see it from an outside perspective and give me a different view. And that's the most valuable thing that I felt that I got from you, a different view with my children.
You bring up a good point. I want to speak to that point right there about how can somebody who ain't got no children help me raise my children? This girl don't even got no children. How can he coach me? You know why I can coach you? Because I know what childhood suffering looks like. And I know and for me, I have the gift of sight and vision, and I saw my parents. And since I don't have the distractions of children, it's easy for me to pick out tendencies that I see parents doing that look exactly and modeled after my parents' chaotic uprearing.
Right.
So it's very easy. I have all the examples of what chaos could look like in parenting because I was that child who was paying attention. You see what I'm saying? My father, the greatest thing he could do for me is take me everywhere with him. Everywhere. Everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Where I shouldn't have been and where I should have been, I was there. And so I can look at a parent who, like you said, who's all up into parenting and they ain't thinking about the vision. My father didn't have the vision. And when somebody tried to come and tell him and give him some tools, he didn't want to listen. When they would come and tell him, like, don't talk to him like that, or such and such, such and such, then he would snap like, uh, I brought him in this world and I'll bring him out. Chaos, suffering, somebody trying to bring you some wisdom. You're going against the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Lean out on your own understanding, especially how you raising these children. He didn't put in there Proverbs 22:6. You know what I'm saying? Raise them, you know what I'm saying? Raise them as you
Children.
want them to be. So when they're
Right.
old, they will not depart from it. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I came up seeing those things. And then I went and got the training uninterrupted. You know how tough it is on a parent with one child or two child to focus on going to get training to get to another level and got to come back home, raise kids, and got to go to work and get money and got to go over here and try
Mm-hmm.
to be in relationships. You need, as they say in the flight school, you got to have somebody that can watch your six. Who's watching
Right.
your back? Oh, and you got to watch
Mm-hmm.
your own back too?
Mm-hmm.
Ouch. Ouch. That's gonna be painful. You see what I'm saying? So, nah, man. Like, so when people say, and that's my man Hotep, I love him, but he's like, don't never let nobody teach you something they ain't already done already. So since coach ain't got no kids, he can't tell you about no kids. That's bullshit. That's bullshit because
That's
I come from overcoming. I come from overcoming emotional deadbeat parents. They weren't
right.
like deadbeat, like they didn't do no work, but emotionally they was deadbeats. And my parents were emotionally abusive, and so
Mm-hmm.
I know how to spot emotional abuse. And I can tell a parent, "Hey, yo, let that go and just fall back. You need some time to yourself."
Right.
What? How does that work?
Mm-hmm.
What? And they don't even know how to take time to themselves. Hey, let's look at the chart. Let's look at the chart of the child, and maybe you have
Right.
the wrong strategy. You trying to take your chart and your fingerprint and your blood pressure and put it on that child. You is dead wrong. You dead wrong. You don't even know what that child's spiritual purpose is. You don't know what that child's relationship language is. You don't know how to look at Venus. You don't know how to look at the North Node. You don't know how to look at its Mercury. You don't know how to calculate the wheel. All the answers, he already came with all the answers. You too damn
Mm-hmm.
lazy or too damn stubborn or so stuck on the wall of chaos, you passing down chaos. Passing down chaos, man. And that's the part where I want to come in and heal that. I want us to stop being so emphatic about passing down chaos. Let's
Right.
just stop trying to pass down chaos and you know what I'm saying? Can't nobody tell me nothing. Somebody need to tell you something if you passing down chaos.
Now,
Trash.
if you guys have any questions for Coach before we get off, post them now, please. I want to say on what you just said as far as, so, one of the things I'm noticing about most of the healers, including myself, is we all came from chaos. I was doing coke as a 3-year-old. Nobody's watching us.
Whoa.
We was just, they were having
Whoa.
parties and they had those little vials of coke with the spoons in them. And so I was just doing what the people at the party was doing. Nobody cared that this 3 to 5-year-old was roaming around when she should have been asleep. So, when you say that, my son right now, he's taking sociology and he looks at the generational effect, right, of me going through so much abuse in my childhood. How he's at UCLA, but against all odds, against all odds. But he and I can talk about the times that we were homeless and how that affected him now. And I can eat that, my portion of it. I know it came from my generational abuse, but at the same time, I had an effect on him, and so on and so forth. So what I want to impress upon any parents that get to see this video and they're looking for a coach, an astrologist, a healer, don't let the fact that Coach Khayr don't have children be any kind of deterrent, because I went against the grain just like you did when it came to raising my son that's at UCLA, and it got him to UCLA. And you are the first person that I know of. I didn't know it worked until he got into UCLA. I didn't know that me following my internal guide was going to work, because we didn't have nobody to walk away from that wall to follow, right? We walked away from the wall of suffering and we were just out there following our internal guidance. But you're the first person that gave me evidence that what I was doing was the right road. So if anybody out there has children, if you're in a relationship, it doesn't matter what Coach Khayr has in his life or doesn't. He has what you need to give your family, not just you, the opportunity and the chance. I'm sending my son, he's third year UCLA. He already got his PhD planned out and his master's. I'm sending
Mm-hmm.
him to see Coach this summer when he's out there, because I just want him to meet a good man. I just want him to be in the presence of a leader and a king. And so anybody out there, that's one of the reasons why Coach is, highlighted at the top of this list of providers, because what you're doing for this community, for these mothers, hey Matthew, for the children. My 4-year old saying the Anabacoic, speaking Hebrew, and now when he gets on, he's like you were when you were talking about the how much the earth weighs. He'll tell me about, the light bulb is for electricity, and he'll be breaking it down. He don't just watch children shows. He watch educational things and breaks science
Right,
down. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So having you as a role model, you also gave me the confidence. I just sent 3 of my children to live with their dad.
Wow.
I know, and I would have never
Smart
done that.
money.
I would have never done
Smart
that.
money.
You know what I'm
Smart
saying?
money.
So you guys need a coach. You need a healer. You need some energy work done. Coach Khayr, pass it
Or you
on.
need some,
You know, go-
or you need somebody to tell you something. See, my other gift is radical honesty. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when it comes to, like I said, digging till your knuckles bleed, I'ma dig till I get the right teacher. Like, if this person ain't the right teacher, then I'm gonna keep on. But and
right,
then having humility too when you run up on the right teacher, having the right protocol. Because if you
right,
stunting, the when you stunting and you come in there with a certain level of maturity, this teacher's gonna open up to you faster. So
right,
that's what Senyata was looking. He was like, I'm looking for spiritually mature, not for my ego, but I'm trying to open up to you faster. So when I already had certain qualities, this other teacher came and was like, yo, you already got so much. Let me just pull on what this little piece that you're missing that they thought was just a little piece. But then this one day they was like, yo, you must adopt the radical honesty philosophy. That one little thing, I was like, radical honesty? It was like radical honesty, unapologetic. You know what I'm saying? If
right,
you wrong about something, then yeah, but if you being honest, then you can be radical. You know what I'm
right.
saying? And that one little piece right there, I had to be at a certain level of maturity to just get that little piece of lesson that this teacher
Woo.
who didn't even, you know what I'm saying, who thought it really wasn't nothing. She was just telling me that in regular conversation. She just coming in the regular conversation. I was like, what? And I just took that and just like ran. Not none of the other stuff that she gave me too, as far as like, because she was teaching me about cardology, you know what I'm saying, the
Right.
destiny cards and stuff like that. But that piece right there about I had that in me where I could be radically honest was something that I stand on like, hard right now. And so, yeah, so
Well,
maybe I
I could see
can't.
that being part of your order. You have to be radically honest with yourself and others to be able to be the angel, in that angel group of order too. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So,
right. You can't lie. You can't lie when you an engineer. When you're
Yeah.
an engineer, people riding on your bridge. They're
Right.
riding on your bridge, so you got to put the best quality in there. You can't, I watch Billions, and
Right.
they just caught my man with his hand in the pot of if y'all ain't watching Billions, oh my God, y'all should be watching that series right there. But anyway, he was buying subpar steel and subpar equipment
Mm.
and going and getting these big ass contracts, but he was building it with these subpar stuff, and people was riding on it. So now we're looking at these bridges collapsing around here and these roads getting
Mm.
holes in them and stuff like that. And we like, oh my God, it was something of nature. Nah, somebody put some subpar product in there.
Right. Right.
Somebody put some subpar product in there. When you see people
Mm.
building these over in the Himalayan mountains or in China, that bridge that has the glass bottom or it's right there
Oh
like on the
yeah.
edge of the mountain, and
Mm-hmm.
people like afraid to walk across it.
Mm-hmm.
They put really good quality stuff in that creation, and that's what's
Right.
important, yo. That's what's important is your radical honesty, and you got to be willing to sacrifice too. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
my other thing I got to make sure I tell people is it ain't about what happens; it's about how you respond to it. It ain't about what happens; it's about how you respond to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say keep soft knees, keep soft knees, keep soft knees. You gotta have soft knees to make sure
You can pivot.
you have some flexibility. Yeah, so you can
Yes.
pivot. You
Keep
you
that
you
pivot.
you can't pivot if you ain't got soft knees. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to pivot both ways too. So if you too rigid, man, you're gonna get rigid. If you are
Right.
rigid, you're gonna get rigid. If you start working on flexibility, then you will have a lot more flexibility awarded to you, and you have much more access to flexibility and pivot. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I only thought I could get money one way, I still be selling dope. Not about to
Right.
walk into a class full of cryptocurrency traders.
Mm. You know.
Bam. You know what
So
I'm saying? Like,
Matthew says
bam.
that he connected with you because he saw you a periscope of you and your nephew. And Laquita applauds us both. And Les, who's on he's one of my editors on Heal Yourselves. He says, "Humble yourself, and you will be exalted." Kristen Moore says, "Humility and high levels of integrity is a must." That's right.
All
So you,
facts. And then I got to give Matthew a shout out. You know what I'm saying? Matthew wasn't meditating with his children, and then next thing you know, he said, check your inbox or check your YouTube. And this joker sends me a video of him meditating with his kids. Like I told him he need to be meditating, but I didn't say you need to be meditating with your children. This
right?
joker, I didn't even know I don't even think I knew at that time he had kids. Next thing you
Wow.
know, he's sending me a video and everybody's meditating. And like, I'm soft on the inside. I'm hard as nails on the outside, but I just
Right.
bust out crying. I was just like, man, I had something to do with that. That's the kind of joy I want to feel. I want that kind of, so that's what I'm digging for now. I'm digging for that kind of joy that when I work with somebody, somewhere in the future, they're going to send me something back. Like when I let your son meet my nephew on video about
Right.
that game to build his own, to build his own game. Like I was just like, it was all right there up in the chest. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, look at this right here. I can show my nephew technology of how he's supposed to be networking with jokers across the country. And that was the first time they met. It ain't gonna be their last time. They're gonna get
Right.
older and be like, hey, ain't you Coach Kaya's nephew? Yeah, ain't you Stephanie's
Yeah, they're gonna be
son? I
trading
think I see.
coins.
Boys gonna be trading coins. They're gonna be writing
They're
code
gonna have
together.
built their own coins, coding and everything. And
Look, Matthew said they're
Matthew
doing
says that
candle,
they do it. I know.
doing candle magic now.
And
They're
my
doing candle
children do
magic,
moon
Claire.
magic. My children are doing moon magic. So and Cielo, he 4. He'll sit on the bed with me and my king and meditate with us because we all meditating together. So even nature's autistic. She'll sit in there and meditate too, even though she's autistic. So I'm not gonna keep you. We're in our. I just want to say this has been an honor to just for you to give me this time today, for you to be on this platform. It means so much to me. And like I said, earlier in an earlier video, I'm going to post. So my healyourselves.com is going to have all the providers on there where people can just go and click your link and get to you. So I'm working on that. But I want you to know that this has been an honor for me and everybody I'm connected to, just for you to give me this time today. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
Hey man, it's just a privilege to me, because I get to represent I get to represent my mom and daddy. I'm not throwing them under the bus, you know what I'm saying? But when somebody look at me, I'm still standing there for my ancestors. The shirt I wore on my birthday says, "I am my ancestors' wildest dreams." No matter what my daddy got it right or not, or my mama did what I wanted her to do or whatever, but guess what? Whatever their wildest dreams are, I'm beyond that. My
Right,
grandmother had no idea that where I would be at, that I'd be able to be on the phone, on a camera phone, helping hopefully millions of people. You know what I'm saying? Or I got a laptop in my bag and I can go around the country and learn and help people and represent. My grandma said, "Don't bring no shame to my name."
mm,
So, like, for me to be able to be here, you know what I'm saying, to represent the Dr. Mitchell Gibsons, the Sunyata Saraswatis, the Malachi Z. Yorks, the Abby Eliases, the entire 5% nation, the gods and earths, you know, the Nation of Islam, the Moors, you know what I'm saying? Like all the teachers that came and poured into me, the mamas, the Stephanies, the Carols, the Omarias, because I had to learn while I was teaching. You know what I'm saying? The
right.
questions that people came to me with for me to answer help empower me by, hold on, let me go get that answer for you. I'll be right back. You know what I'm saying? So now a situation I helped you with, guess what? That's helping a lot of other people because I can be like, you already seen this already. I know how to treat this. You see what I'm saying? And so that's
Right.
another thing that's really important for healers is practice, 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 man. And don't get caught up in a bubble. Get out from up under your damn rock. Success is not gonna come find you up under no rock, man. You know what I'm saying? Find out what your talents are. That's what my whole thing is,
Ooh, that's
strategy and
big.
purpose. It was like, oh, you're a life coach. I bet now play. I'm a strategy and purpose. And even
Mhm.
this morning, I was like, you know, I'm a spiritual life coach whose specialty is strategy and purpose. You know what I'm saying? I can, yeah. Well, can you help me get my money right? Absolutely. But are you meditating and what that altar look like? Huh?
Mm,
I can't do no altar. But then we ain't at the level that we can work together. Then we ain't at the
right.
level that we can work together. And I ain't got to work with everybody. I don't take headache money either. That's another thing some of you healers need to adopt too. Don't take no headache
Mm-mm.
money.
It's
Don't
okay
do
to
it,
say no. So everybody that's
man.
on here, if you're still on, please share. Thanks for staying. If you catch the replay, share this. If you've already shared it, press 2. And I'm going to take us out with a very small heal yourselves meditation. So whoever's on, just close your eyes, focus in on your third eye, and then point your gaze downward and inside of yourself. And now take a deep breath in through the nose, out of your mouth. Allow yourselves to say hello. If you see a lot of activity, little white spots, that's the heart centers of the billions and trillions of cells that love you every day. They do everything that your body needs without you even asking. Give gratitude. Give thanks to the cells. Take a deep breath in and out of your mouth. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. I love you all for supporting the healers that have come on to heal yourselves. If you want to share them, if you know anyone that needs healing, please feel free to share this video, their links, and like I said, share this video as much as you can. You have an amazing day in the cryptocurrency world and whatever else you're going to do. Thank you again for your time today. I appreciate you, and
Uh,
you know I love you.
Also, I love you too. Also, but if anybody needs to get a meditation, you can go to coachescloset.com and you can just put your email address in and then you get that automatically. So that's my free gift to everyone that's watching right now. Go to coachescloset.com. You're going to get the email. I mean, you're going to get the 17-minute microcosmic orbit meditation, and you also will be on my mailing list, so you can get my newsletter and get my emails that go out like every so often. All right. So yeah,
You have another
definitely
email. Is
appreciate
it
that.
Live Free? You have another
Oh,
email. Is it Live Free?
livingfree.coach. Livingfree.coach. It's popping over there. Yes, for sure. That's the course we just got finished, Print Your Own Money course. So we're getting ready to have a big drive between now and the beginning of June for people to sign up for this next course. It's either going to be the spiritual and financial maturity course, or it's going to be the relationship science course. I don't know, one of the two, but that's what's coming.
All right. All right. Love you too, Kristen Moore. You guys have an amazing Saturday. Thank you very much. You have an amazing day. I'll see you soon.
All
Peace.
right, peace.